The YouTube channel. We're getting ready to fire up IE Newswire Live. As you can see, I'm doing the whole show here by myself. Everybody's abandoned ship. See that? So you might see a little bit of silence here if you're watching on YouTube, which I doubt anybody is yet of that. So we're just firing everything out. You ever try talking and typing at the same time? I'm crappy at typing anyway, so I 19. Here we go. Yes. See if we can get the titled up. We'll get the get this all fired up. Get the see if we can get Facebook Live fired up here in a sec. I have to concentrate. I can't talk while I'm typing. It's very okay. Got the typing done on that. We'll see if we can light off the Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're up on the deal going on. We're live on IE Newswire and on IE Newswire on YouTube, both you get Facebook Live and that. Here on a Monday, I'm having to fire everything up on my end because I'm the only one here today. So you'll have to listen to me roll through all the stories in Babylon and engineer the show. If you want to call in, we will take those. You can call us at 951 242 5397. See if I can make the phone system work. See if I can figure that part out. We're just firing things up, getting things going, all on the enchilada here. Oh, there we are. IE Newswire. Let's see if we're actually live on that. Well, we'll give it a refresh. See if we're hitting live on the good old show. Coming up, lots of news coming up through the Inland Empire all across the board. Man, it was a busy weekend. Lots of news stories to cover on that. We even got some videos that we shot during the weekend all across the board of all the fun and frivolous things that went on all during the weekend. Like I say, lots of news each and every day today. And we'll cover it all here in a bit as I roll it up and I start to roll up the stories on that. One of the things that you got to love old Trump, giving it to, it's one of the stories we got in there, really sticking it to California and telling it like it is, saying, hey, you guys got to get your force managed out there before you come crawling to the federal government each and every day, wanting more money, doing this, having that, wanting this, demanding that, and he said no more. It's about time that somebody stood up to these guys and said, a president said no, just flat no. And it's refreshing that he told Gavin Newsom that, And Newsom said in one of the deals, back and forth, uh, that's it. Yeah. Oh, you don't believe in climate change. How ridiculous is that? That's all you got to come back with is, oh, you don't believe in climate change. I mean, it's sometimes it's utterly amazing what goes on in some of this stuff that they that goes across the board on it. I mean, it's see who's checking in. Oh, Annie's checking in on the old broadcast on there. That hey, Annie, good to see somebody's checking in on us live here on that as we turn this down. Now that sounds a little better. Tell me how the sound quality comes in on that, or if it needs any adjustment or needs a little bit of tweaking. I can do that because I'm sitting at the engineering desk right now, rolling all this stuff across as I'm putting myself up live on that on the old broadcaster, looking at it. It's kind of funky running all this stuff on that, but one of the things that well, let's see what the first story I got up here on that, and we will hit. Oh yes, here it is, first story, and we'll see if we homicide investigation and illegal weed grow discovered in Anza on Sunday. Uh, Riverside County Sheriff's Department, Hemet Station. Deputies from the Hemet Station responded to a shooting at the residence located at the 3900 block of El Toro Road in Anza. Deputies arrived at the scene and located a deceased male inside, and he was apparent of a gunshot wound. What they didn't, and then they rolled through there, and then they discovered an illegal weed grow going on. What a concept of that going through the deal. So, you know, it's funny what the cops can roll through on this stuff. Uh, you know, they run on that, and here you go. They run up on that, get it, and well, we find a dead male in here. We get an attempt. You don't think there was a robbery or something, or maybe it was a illegal business dispute of the illegal weed grows. No, they got to get rid of these illegal weed grows, as far as I'm concerned, because you know first thing, your houses are not built to grow 90 million plants. They bypass and steal the electricity, which we all wind up paying for. Uh, as I pointed out many times, there is nothing free. The utilities companies do not pay for the electricity. You eventually do. So let's run that little gamut off on the whole deal, and again, let's look at the reality of the situation. So we're going to queue up the next story on that went on. Suspect in Moval homicide found dead in Loma Linda, Moreno Valley. On IE Newswire, suspect in the Lee Street homicide on Wednesday, Averon Macala, 36 of Santa Monica, was found dead in Loma Linda from a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was pronounced dead at the scene, officials said. So it looks like the Wednesday shooting that was over there on Lee Street that we covered we shot a live video of on that day. Looks like the suspect they were looking for, they found dead in Loma Linda. So I guess we won't have to be spending a lot of time or money or court cases on the part of looking for that person, because the one who shot the person in Moreno Valley on Lee Street wound up, or allegedly, or the suspect they were looking for, let's put it that way, is now dead of a apparent gunshot wound, self-inflicted gunshot wound, as the police said, and more commonly known as suicide, committed suicide on that. So I imagine they'll be wrapping that case up fairly quickly. Let's see if I can get the, and why is this? I've got the, let's see, iNews. There we go. Getting the right stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky running everything yourself. Next story up. You got to love the Murrieta cops. And we're going to do that. Hopefully we'll do it on Friday because they have their weekly crime wrap-up. And, man, those guys are hilarious. So the little recaps they give you on all the ones they arrest down in Murrieta. And here's their little posting they made today. They have the Halloween candy, and those of you watching, it says Murrieta PD hooking it up, and they're pointing to the candy and stuff. So those guys got an incredible sense of humor and do it with a flair. And like I said, it's a no wonder Murrieta is one of the safest cities in America. And I think there was just another study out that just came out, said they were number 3 in America, safest city. So big props to the Murrieta PD for keeping their citizens safe. Big props to all the citizens of Murrieta for keeping your community and acting like fine, upstanding citizens on that. And you know, that's what we should. All of our communities should be striving to do that. Here was an interesting one. Highland auto theft investigation leads to the arrest of a San Bernardino duo on drug charges. Highland Sheriff Station said suspects Adam Stewart, 41, and Beatrice Rabdu, both 43, of San Bernardino. Highland Sheriff Station deputies from the Highland Sheriff Station were investigating a reported stolen vehicle. Deputies located the vehicle at a local motel parking lot. I wonder what the two were doing at the local motel parking lot. Since they were in San Bernardino, why would they be doing that? And why? Well, let's find out. Based on witness information and other physical evidence, deputies contacted Adam Stewart and Beatrice at one of the motel rooms. Stewart was found to be on felony formal probation for receiving known stolen vehicle out of San Bernardino. During the investigation, deputies also located a large amount of narcotics for sale and an unregistered firearm rifle. Stewart was booked at the Central Detention Center in the above charges. Rabdu was booked at Central Detention Center on charges of possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Drugs for sale at a local residence at a local motel room. I'll just leave it to your imagination to what you think was going on. Next story rolling up on IE Newswire that we got was posted by Alley, Missouri. Really think about it and let this sink in. Why is it that Sacramento is so dead set about voter verification? Small sample. You need to show ID to write a check, use your credit card, get on a plane, open a bank account, buy a timeshare, buy medicine, give blood, check in a hotel, check to the hospital, enter your kid's school, and on and on and on. But you don't need an ID check for voting. That's probably something that we should look at, that we should be changing, especially in California. Let's clean up our voter rolls, get them on, and work here. It's supposed to be one man, one vote, not 4,000 votes for over that. There's been too much funny business going on in our elections. We need to clean that stuff up and clean it up fairly quickly in our area, because if we don't have an honest voting system, we're already on the path to being a banana republic. So that's something. And Ali's been on that. He's been suing, I think, along with some others at the state level on this. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Maybe we'll have Ali on in the future to do that. Another one. A San Bernardino teen arrested on stolen car charges in Yucaipa. The suspect, Joseph Costner, 19, of San Bernardino, who had been arrested 13 times on car and other theft charges last year and a half, officials said. Now, how does someone go through the system getting arrested 13 times and is out walking the streets? 3 strikes, obviously, when we had it, it was working. Criminals were off the streets. We were rid of them a lot. We knew where they were at. They weren't out stealing cars, dealing drugs, breaking into our houses, wandering around the streets, throwing rocks at our windshields, and whatever's been going on. I mean, this should be the poster boy child of what is wrong with our criminal justice system? How do you get to be 13 times you've been arrested for car theft and other theft charges, and then you're out in the street stealing cars again? It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. Again, it's amazing some of the stuff that goes on around here, or some of the stuff we do in this insane state is absolutely incredible. The other big story that broke this morning, and I know if you're if you're a racing fan, this one just came way out of left field. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the Indy 500, is sold to Roger Penske. In a big move in the racing and sports world, the track that holds the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500, is changing hands. Holman and Company has sold the world's most famous speedway to Penske Corp. Holman and Company has owned the speedway since 1945, when the late Tony Holman bought the speedway from Eddie Rickenbacker. Carl Fisher originally built the track in 1909, started the Indy 500, the 2.5-mile oval on the Mecca. Greatest spectacle in racing. Over 300 fans show up there every year at Memorial Day for the Indy 500. It's probably the largest attended, watched, and listened to sporting event still in the world. Hundreds of millions of people tune in and watch that race all over the world. At one time, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway radio network was the biggest radio network in the world. I think since the consolidation and iHeart and stuff, they've bypassed them. But I mean, it's like on 700 radio stations of that, and for many, many decades, it was the biggest radio network in the world. Penske bought that, the IndyCar Series, all the broadcasting rights and all that. So we're going to see if IndyCar comes back. I bet you the Long Beach Grand Prix will be bigger and better, and maybe IndyCar will come back to Fontana Speedway, the speedway Roger Penske originally built back in, 96, the 2-mile super speedway out in Fontana, California. Be nice to see IndyCar come back to that venue of that, because one race a year at Fontana, one major race, let's put it that way, once a year is not enough for Fontana. They should have more races on that going on. Here we go. And I'm going to put the picture up of that. And let's see. Let's put their smiling faces. Let's run them on the big side. Those of you watching on IE Newswire. There's the latest in the quality of life sweep. Booking photos of the 10, about 20, 30 people there that are arrested on that. Various drug charges, again, trespassing, public intoxication, illicit drug use, and all that. Again, look at that, 40 shares, 64 comments up and down the line. People are just fed up with this stuff, and I'm glad our sheriff's department is finally picking things up, getting rid of or arresting these, and hopefully the district attorney's office will start prosecuting, fining, and that. And this is probably why we need a 3 strikes law. So if you could come back and do that, and even if they're misdemeanor crimes or stuff of that, at some point, if people like the kid that was caught 13 times for car theft and that over a year and a half, after so many times of getting arrested, charged with various crimes, at what point do you say enough is enough and these people need to be whatever, in some sort of institution, jail, whatever, but they should not be wandering our streets, making the rest of our lives miserable and uncomfortable. It's something that really, really, really needs to be done. That's what John says in the comments. These people are breaking into our homes and cars every single day and night. That's why the IE is going downhill. I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's why the sheriff's department should be out that. Melissa writes, we taxpayers just paid roughly $5,000 for a book and release for such these people. Most of these qualify for most of these quality of life charges will be out within a day, and the taxpayers will pay the price. Really, well, that's one of the things we should probably be looking at, is how we should be changing our criminal justice system where that exact thing does not happen, where they're catched and released back out on that. Uh, I put out the solutions I think should be done. Maybe that's a starting point. We need to drastically lower the cost that it costs to incarcerate prisoners in the state of California. It's currently $80,000 per prisoner. That's over 2.5 times the national average of 30 grand a pop that uh, the other 49 states pay. So if we were just at the average, look, we could house 2.5 times more prisoners, and there's no reason why we cannot substantially cut the costs that it costs to keep prisoners in the state of California or institutions or whatever help these guys need, guys and gals need to ultimately come to a solution to this problem. Because, as the previous commenter pointed out, you cannot have them. If they're out wandering the streets, they're breaking into our houses, cars, and doing whatever else we pointed out many, many times up and down the road. So that's I still, even if they're catching and releasing, that's just another thing that we need to take care of. Not discouraging the cops not to be arresting these people and taking and trying and cleaning up this very, very serious problem, not only in the Inland Empire, but in the state of California. We are housing half of the vagrant population. Yet we only have about 13% of the total population, but we are almost at half of the vagrant population. It's getting ridiculous out here, and we need to fix it. Let's see, next story up here. We talked about trash recycling and all that and the fallacy of it. And here's a chart I think that really, really, really brings this home, at least in my mind. World's worst ocean polluters in annual metric tons millions. China, 8.8 tons. Indonesia, 3.2 tons. Philippines, 1.9 tons. Vietnam, 1.8 tons. On and on and on down to, and you get down to the US of A, zero point 0.3 metric tons of pollution. Yet we get blamed and Trump gets blamed for the polluters. Now I want to ask you, all of you greenies that are into the recycling and all you schools that are teaching the so-called recycling, you know what it is? We have been putting these plastics and recyclables and all this stuff on ships out of California and elsewhere and shipping them to China. You know what China's doing? They're either dumping it in the ocean, probably on the way there in half the cases, or when they get there, when they incinerate it, it's going up in big black plumes of smoke with all those dangerous chemicals just flying everywhere off the plastics and all the whatever on there. They don't care. They were taking our money and laughing at us, and we are getting charged more to get rid of trash. And now it's a crisis because China said, the hell with it. It isn't even worth our time wasting the amount of money we were making on it or whatever to do this. It's just ridiculous. So they said, we're not taking your trash anymore. Now there's trash piling up all across the nation. We don't know what to do with it. We've totally lost our minds. What you do is you dump the trash in a hole, you bury it in the dumps. We have dumps. And then it does one of two things. It either rots, goes down in there, turns into carbon, which hits the center of the earth, and it creates oil. Or the second thing is it produces methane. It produces a methane gas, which hits the carbon in there, which produces oil. Or we can tap the methane gas that's generated of the decomposing trash, and we can turn it into very cheap electrical source, like we used to have when we were some of the cheapest electricity in the nation. Now we are at the highest. We pay the highest price per kilowatt for electricity by far. What is wrong with that picture? I mean, it gets ridiculous around here each and every day of, pulling this stuff. Next one. Two related DUI arrests down in the low desert on a DUI collision. There's the two fine suspects that have done that. There's one from Laura Martin. I just didn't understand it. Maybe she can call in and explain that post. I didn't get it at all. And this just rolls into and why I posted that. And this is going to roll into the Trump one. Trump, in a series of tweets, he told the truth. And that's why I said you got to love old Donald J. I mean, he fired off 3 tweets of that at Gavin Newsom in California, saying basically, we're not paying for you guys can't manage your forest and get that out there and make it work. We're not bailing you out anymore. And it's about time. Maybe California needs that tough love of going on out there. Because, and then he said the same thing about the water. He says, you're creating a water crisis out there that can be easily solved. And 98.7% of our water crisis could be solved if we turned on the pumps, filled up our reservoirs, and voila. There is no water crisis. The crops, we could have plenty of water for the crops in Central California, some of the most fertile farmland in all of the world, and we're shutting off the water to that each and every day. The electricity, all you high rollers in Silicon Valley making all that money off of Google and Facebook and all this other stuff, had your little Teslas parked by the boatloads up there because there was no electricity to make your electric car run. They're talking about electric shutoffs going on for the next 10 years. Electricity prices are going to soar even higher in California over this mess. And yet, most of us, majority of us, just keep bypassing along the road like nothing has ever happened. Here's another one that's let me blow the picture up a little bit so you can see it. A metal bar fell off a truck on Highway 99 up in the Sacramento area. Fell off a big rig truck. It was about a 5 foot, looks like about an inch and a half diameter bar. Fell off a truck, went through another Chevy Impala was rolling down the road. The metal bar bounced up underneath the car, came through the engine compartment, the firewall, and pierced the firewall and hit a lady in the leg. Fortunately, the firefighters responded to that, got her out, transported her in stable condition. But imagine you're rolling down the road and all of a sudden, boom, a metal bar's coming up through your car on that. That's got to be a nothing but a shock or surprise to see something like that. So that's another story we got rolling up on there that we posted this weekend. Let's see what else we got. Rolling down the old highway here on that. Got to figure all this stuff out. Oh, this was another one. Yes. Now imagine you got your kids at Chuck E. Cheese, very popular, place for families to take their kids, have some pizza, entertainment, fun. You got all the stuff they cater to that. In good old San Bernardino, Saturday night, multiple suspects fled after someone opened fire outside Hospitality Lane Chuck E. Cheese Saturday. The incident started with a fight inside at the Kids Party Center around 8 p.m. that escalated into a shooting in the parking lot. Officials said a total of 8 gunshots were fired, but no one was reported hit by the gunfire, which is fortunate. That's a good thing. At least nobody was hit. But imagine you're at the good old Chuck E. Cheese and all of a sudden, boom, here you go. Here's a open fire. Somebody's out there going pop, pop, pop. It's a good thing he wasn't a good shot or that and didn't hit anybody on that. But suspect is still out there, and we're hopefully they will catch this guy, because somebody out there that's doing this definitely does not need to be out among the general populace. Another one, there was a home fire you probably don't see or you probably this probably goes on more than you think, but a supposedly abandoned home on Atwood by Paris Boulevard was there. It di- I'm skeptical that it might not have been rented out, but you will see who may have been living there. Let's see if I can roll this video as I try and run all the equipment and stuff on that. See if I can make this work. Wonder why I'm not hearing the sound. Oh, I know. I think. See if that does it. Trying to figure out how to get to the. Ah, there we go. There does look like though they pulled out mattresses and chairs and a few things from inside the home. I just wondered if it was maybe abandoned or maybe somebody was occupying the home because there does seem to be some evidence of that. There's looks like another mattress that was thrown out. If we can zoom in on it, or it looks like there's a red tag or something that probably the fire department put on the home out here. A couple of them across. Again, looks like somebody might have been there. There's looks like a little scooter or something. Again, there's like 3 or 4 mattresses laid outside. A few chairs. Looks like a couch way down there. Shopping cart. Some would call that evidence of maybe the house maybe had been abandoned, but maybe it was occupied by some folks. Yeah, there's if you shoot down here, you can see some more shopping carts and another couch. It appears to be pulled out of the house. Again, just thought I'd cover it, check it out. You'd see what's going on in Moreno Valley here today. To see what's going on the program. So that's it. Supposedly abandoned home fire in Moreno Valley on Atwood, right by Paris Boulevard. But it does seem to be there was some things like mattresses and stuff. So it might have been a bit. So is it a good guess that that might have been occupied by the homeless? Just saying. With mattresses, chairs, couches rolled outside. Uh, I'm just saying it probably is was occupied by some of our friends in the homeless industry. What say you? Because that's why I ran the video because we need to get more reporting and stuff like this of actually what's going on the ground out there instead of sugarcoating it or not saying what's going on. We should definitely have if we bury our heads and don't deal with this stuff, it will never go on of or these things will never uh, get solved. And we need to each and every day, I think, come up with this stuff and see if we can come up with a solution on that. Uh, because it seems like there was very credible evidence that there were homeless in there. That's probably why the thing got lit on fire, across the board, and uh, that's what are you going to do in these situations where if people don't speak up or this stuff is not getting shown? So that's some of the things why I aim to cover some of this stuff and get that out there so people can really see or put a stamp on what is going on out there. So, maybe we can get a resolution to some of this stuff. And because, these things, like it was said before, you've got all this stuff going on doing that. Houses are getting burnt down by these guys, and it it never it seems to never end. Another one. Here's another story that's up on there in Anza. The cops responded to a shooting. Wound up found one guy dead and another illegal marijuana grow going on in there. Go figure of what's what these things are doing. Seems like we come up with this stuff each and every day. There's more and more and more of this. I mean, it seems like there's multiple stories of this coming on. You know, every day going across the board of that. And someday, maybe someday, we'll figure out how to make it all get back to where we didn't have these kind of problems. And it's kind of like the trade on the illegal marijuana grows. I have no problem with people smoking marijuana, doing that as long as they're doing it in their homes, buying it legally. But again, houses were not built for growing thousands of plants. I mean, you're eventually you're gonna ruin the house in very quick and short order. And on top of that, bypassing the electricity and all that other stuff. Uh, again, we pay for it, and do you want that sort of stuff going on where multiple houses are burnt? What if somebody lights one of these up and it catches your house on fire? I bet you'd have a different attitude about what's going on. Here's another thing I'd like to point out that we posted on Adopt a Troop. Deployed troops need your help. This was posted by the Valley Resource Center, Raven Hilden, which runs that nonprofit and helps out our troops. Posted on IEN, 2 of our ships have been out at sea deployed for quite a while. Last port call they had was April of 2019, and they are lacking basic everyday items. They just received their 4th extension in November, are being told they don't have a day when they're coming back. They will more than likely spend Thanksgiving and Christmas away from their families after being gone for so long. There are local ships with many sailors from our area. They are reaching out and asking for help. They're asking for donations of, anything: laundry detergent, body wash, shampoos, toothbrushes, anything, anything care products. So get a hold of Valley Resource Center. They will, if you get them to them, they will distribute them to our sailors in need. And it's kind of sad that along with being deployed by that. For that, over a year and a half, and even more, that they're still short on basic everyday needs that they shouldn't be. Here's another one that skydiver fatally injured in Harupa Valley. Cal Fire reported skydiver fatality in Harupa Valley at 7:30 a.m. Sunday. Riverside at the Riverside Corner near Sierra Avenue and 30th. One confirmed fatality, which it really was if you know the Rock Quarry, and that's where, like, 30th is where you're going north of the 60, and then it turns into Sierra, and you're heading up to Fontana. There's that big, that big hillside where the Rock Quarry is, and straight off. A lot of people do what they call bush jumping or whatever. They practice parachuting or run ultralights off of there and stuff. Well, one poor guy I guess his chute didn't open or didn't make it or something malfunctioned. He is now no longer with us. So, there is, it is fun to do that kind of stuff, but there is a danger. There's the original story on the quality of life one on that we covered with the booking photos. So we'll roll by oh, here's another great one. Jeffrey Taylor Thompson. There's been a big home robbery crime spree that had houses broken into from Rancho Cucamonga, San Jacinto, and Yucca Valley, all that. There's been reported at least 3 or more suspects, all black. Jeffrey Taylor Thompson was detained in Las Vegas on another matter, and they alerted the police down here in Riverside, San Bernardino County, and they said, that's one of the guys we've been looking for. He is now waiting extradition once he gets through cleaning up his Las Vegas mess. Extradition down to Riverside, San Bernardino County to do that. But the police are still looking for the 2 suspects, and one of the homes that was broken into was the home of a disabled veteran who couldn't, was doing that. So that's even more tragic on stuff like that. Here's another one. A fight broke out a little bit from Hemet High with a couple of students and an adult male that was uh, that they were encountering. The students were supposedly suspended from Hemet High, but this guy won, or allegedly, there was a big fight, a lot of people around. Allegedly, this man, Angel Medrano, allegedly stabbed one of the youth. So there's a all points bulletin. Cops are searching for this guy. So if you see this guy out or know of his whereabouts, please contact Riverside County Sheriff's Office, Hemet Station, or any police department and let them know, and they will forward that, because if he's done that, this guy needs to be caught and severely dealt with. If you're pulling out a knife, taking it out after kids, that's not good. Oh, here was another one. Really tragic story. A woman jumped off the Adams Street Bridge at the 91 freeway. And what was really sad about that is there was a utility truck, about a ton and a half truck. She landed right on top of the guy's roof on that, or guy or gal, whoever was driving it, on that. So that was a really nasty situation on that. Can you imagine if you're driving down the freeway and all of a sudden here's this body comes down and boom, right on your vehicle? And actually, that's really it even points out the danger of that. I mean, it could have been, what if it would have been just a split second sooner? She might have been coming through the windshield, not only killing herself, but maybe killing or severely injuring people in the passengers. So if you're going to commit suicide, do not jump off the bridge onto the freeway. That is very dangerous. Get a gun, blow your brains out. Well, I probably shouldn't say that, but I mean, if you're going to commit suicide, do not endanger anybody else. Take care of, at least if you're going to do something like that, do not put other people in peril. Because, like you say, that could have been a very tragic situation. Like you say, what if she would have jumped a split second sooner? She could have been coming through the windshield of that deal, and that would have been even more. Then possibly, that could have been you driving down the freeway, and all of a sudden, boom, here's this body coming through your windshield or something like that. Again, if you're going to commit suicide, do not jump off the freeway bridge onto the oncoming traffic. That has a very real potential of endangering something else. As we know, there was daylight savings time last Sunday at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. The clocks went back to that. Survey says that 7 in 10, I wrote a poll, 7 in 10 would not like us to go on daylight savings time across the board. And I really don't care if I don't want them to change it. If we want to stay on mountain time, there is no such thing technically as daylight savings time, but if we want to stay on mountain time, let's stay on mountain time. Switching the clocks back and forth is dumb, and this is the reason why. The next one up on the do that, and this is one of the memes that got a lot of attention on that. The guide to putting your clocks back. Smartphone, leave it alone, it does magic. Sundial, move one house to the left. Oven, you'll need a master's degree in electronics engineering, or the ever trusty thing that works almost every time, a hammer. Car radio, not worth it, wait 6 months. That's one of the things I'm very anal about, is the clocks. I mean, I figured out how to do it on the oven, stove, car radio, and everything else, because I can't stand clocks that are on the wrong time. I know most people don't. They leave them blinking or on daylight savings time, like it says, car radio not worth it, wait 6 months and it'll be back to the deal. Not me. I change them. I figure out how to change them. I don't know. That's just a quirk of mine. Don't like that. Here's another one. Ontario man arrested for pimping and pandering. 2 female victims rescued. Trayvon Dorsey, 26 of Ontario, was arrested after Ontario police responded to an assault call Wednesday where they encountered the 3 later came to believe that they were involved in the sex for sale industry. San Bernardino County Human Trafficking Task Force was called in for the interviews and came to believe Dorsey used force and fear against the two female victims, forcing them to work as prostitutes on his behalf. Both victims were rescued and offered in immediate services. Dorsey was booked into the county jail and violated with charges of domestic violence, assault, false imprisonment, additional charges for felony, a violation of pimping and pandering of an adult. He is currently being held on $200,000 bail. I mean, Ontario probably suffers from a lot of this because obviously the airport coming in. That leads us to the next story coming up on that. Here it is. LA duo arrested in San Bernardino for human trafficking of a minor. A 15-year-old female was returned to her family after a San Bernardino traffic stop by police discovered she was a runaway from LA. The other two adults in the car, Peter Castillo, 30, and Jonette Terrell, 18, both of Los Angeles, were taken to the police station and interviewed for interviews with the San Bernardino County Human Trafficking Task Force. Upon concluding the interviews, Castillo and Terrell were booked for felony violations related to human trafficking of a minor. Castillo is being held on $500,000 bail, $550,000 bail, and a no bail violation related to him being arrested while out on bail for prior Riverside County charge of human trafficking. Terrell is also being held in lieu of $150,000 bail, officials said in a press release. So there you go. I mean, again, this guy has been convicted before or is on probation for that, for human trafficking, out again, doing it again. I mean, it's really ridiculous sometimes of what's going on. Said there was a lot of stories. We're not through the weekend stories yet. One fight that turned into a gunfire leaves one dead in Victorville. Police report that Parnell Gutter, 28, and Thurman Matthew, 40, both of Victorville, were involved in a fight Friday that led to Matthew shooting at Gutter's Casabella apartment, in which time Gutter returned the fire, striking Matthew, and he was pronounced dead at the scene, officials said. Well, again, that might be a very easy case of what's going on. No charges have been filed yet that I've found, so maybe they're saying that that's a justified shooting of that. Another one coming up, as you can see, identity theft. One Colton and two Yucaipa men arrested on ID theft and possession of stolen property and other charges. A call to Yucaipa police about a possible drug activity led to the discovery of a Hemet man's identity allegedly being stolen to purchase a new truck from Toyota Redlands. Stolen property from the city of Yucaipa and drug paraphernalia found. Again, I mean, look at all the stuff that's going on out here in this area. It's really getting on. Next one up, Fontana man arrested on child porn charges. Aaron Medina, 26, of Fontana, charged with having images and videos of child porn at a Rancho Cucamonga location. Again, look at all the, I mean, it just, you see this stuff coming on constantly, each and every day, up on the police blotter, all that stuff. It, and they say crime is going down. I don't think so. Oh, this is another interesting story. Officer involved shooting in Victorville, as in San Bernardino County. A SUV was coming head on at a sheriff's bus when the deputy fired shots at the oncoming vehicle, and then it fled away. It seems like they were up in the up on Highway 395 up there going on that. All of a sudden, there's this 2000 model Chevrolet Tahoe coming at them, and looks like it's going to hit them head on. They kind of pull over to the side of that. It's kind of veering over, so the cop shot at them, and the Tahoe veered off and did that. They had 2 deputies and 15 inmates were on board. Is it possible that somebody was trying to maybe plan an escape of one of the inmates? I mean, why would a Tahoe look like it's going to hit a bus head on or try and do that? That seems awful. That seems awful strange out there. Another, and I just want to see if it works on putting out the videos. Toy donations and a blood drive. We're at the Merino Valley Senior Center. This is a little video I did on that. So we'll see if this plays on the old meter. On that, we're going to let it roll. Newswire, Roy Bleckert out here. We're at the Senior Center on Fur Avenue, just east of Paris Boulevard, the second location of Community Service Day. We need to get a few more people down here to the Senior Center. We just did a live shot from the park. Lots of people were out there. We need to get a few more folks down here to the Senior Center. It's looking a little slim. Tell us a little bit about what's going on today here at the Senior Center.
They'll be doing a blood drive, toy drive, food, and clothing, or coat drive.
They all need to come on down because you folks look a little lonely.
To have everybody come down if they would please.
There you go. We're going to talk to the lady who's doing the census. If you need a job or something, you can come down here. Maybe she might sign you up, get you some work. Tell us how they can do that.
Yes, we are here with the iPad ready to assist applicants with the application process. We have jobs available going from $15.50 to $18.50 an hour.
There you go. So if you need a job, come on down to the Senior Center. They'll sign you up, get you hooked up, and you'll be on your way. We're going to go check out and see what's going on in the blood drive on there. To come up, check out what's going on that. We're going to talk to the few folks over here on that. You're going to see the area where they're doing the blood drive. Tell us, can folks, we're live on IE Newswire, can folks come on down anytime from what time to donate blood?
We're here from 9 to 2.
You're here from 9 to 2 on that? Anybody can just come on in, walk in?
Yes, anybody can come on in.
On that, so have you had a lot of takers yet?
Not yet.
So we need to get some folks to come on down, donate some blood down here at the Senior Center on that. They'll even give you a few treats or things on that to that. Here's the treat table, so you'll get a couple of goodies going out on your way out. You donate a little blood. It's a good cause. Do that. Come on down. We're going to check out the toy and food donation drive, which is just down the hall on that. So we're walking down the hall, going to that where this is coming up, and we're coming up to the room of that with the. This is where you can bring in your toy donations on that. There must be a cloud over this place. Nobody wants to be on camera on here. Tell us about, you got a little,
we have our candy.
This is the leftover trick-or-treat candy. Tell them about your, you're working with the fire department Toys on Tots for a toy and food donation drive?
Yes, so we are right here collecting donations from food, toys, and sweaters. And from the Toys for Tots, it's a special drive from the fire department, and we give all the toys that we collect to the people and families in need of toys here in the area.
So it's an absolute good cause. So if you don't get enough goodies over there at the blood drive, you can snake a few out from the fire department in their Toys for Tots blood drive on that. I'm going to point this camera at you, and you're just going to melt like butter. I don't know what it is today about everybody on that. Yes, give them a nice smile on that. See, you don't die when you get on camera. No, come on down. They need some folks to come down here to the Senior Center. There's a big turnout over at Sunnymead Park, a little bit thin over here at the Senior Center. So if you need a job, come on down. The Census Department will hook you up. If you want to donate a little blood, because they're short on blood, so you can come down here. They'll get you in and out real quick on that. All that stuff. There's one guy that came in on that finally. That came into the Senior Center on that. So if you're inclined to do that, need a job. Maybe just need to steal a goodie or two or get a cup of coffee or water, you can come on down here and maybe they'll convince you to donate some blood or maybe bring a toy or a coat or something down for the food donations for the fire department, because they'll do that too. They'll take care of you too. So again, all you folks, come on down to the Senior Center. We don't want them to be the Maytag repairman of Merino Valley, where they're the loneliest ones around. They need some people to flood in the place of that so they feel appreciated. With that, Roy Bleckert on IE Newswire. We're out. Oh, let me see if I can run that back. Okay, we're back on that. Running that, trying to figure out how to do the all the producer stuff on this stuff. Running that, so we're looking at that. Getting my screen back so I can see that or scroll down some of the stories on the good old. Sometimes it's funny how you push the buttons on this stuff and it goes a little bit dingy on the stuff. Oh, it's showing me on that. I don't know how I do some of this stuff sometimes. We're looking at it. Let me see if I can dial up. There we go. I got too many windows open going on trying to keep. It is a little bit. It is a little bit fun trying to run everything and do everything yourself on this whole enchilada. So vamping a little bit while I try and get the stories back up because that one would not allow me to, or I couldn't figure out how to get that one. The old, that one's going on. So let me see. That's why it's much easier to do this when you got a producer working all this stuff. As I'm waiting for the old computer to run down through some of the stuff. There we go. Here's the other one that I did live from the community center, the old Sunnymead Park. We had a lot of volunteers come out and do that. A lot bigger turnout for the old Sunnymead Park deal to spruce that up. There were a lot of volunteers showed up, spread some sod and mulch and all that, picking up trash, painting, doing all the stuff, doing that. So we're going to see if we can run this video, see how this works, see if I can learn how to do all this stuff. Sunnymead, or Moreno Valley. This is actually Central Sunnymead. We're out here at the park, the original park that we started and all of us volunteers built 50 years ago. You'll see some of the volunteers out there. There's Mary, one of our admins on that. Giselle's out here of that. Here's another very famous resident. Say hi to everybody. You're live on IE Newswire on that. They're doing landscaping work, doing sod, sprucing up the place. Say hi to everybody. You're live on IE Newswire. That's it. Tell them to come out here and volunteer on the day.
Sister at? She's come out?
Yes.
Still sleeping?
Yes, that's it.
Get out her. I have
Yes,
to
and all that.
work
Yes.
right here for her.
There's work to do out here. Community cleanup to come out on that. All sorts of activities going on. You can check in here. We're at Sunnymead Park. It's also going on at the senior center, which is, and we're at this is at the corner of Paris Boulevard and First Street on that, and just a little bit east, maybe less than a quarter mile, is the senior center. So you can stop by there, come by. You can do both. I think it's going to go on from now till 2 o'clock this afternoon at both locations. Fire department's out here in force, coming up, doing lots of great things out here on that. Here's the sign-up sheet. Sign-up area you can come into. They have 2 of them over here on that. Some of the HF folks up. Say hi to everybody. You're live on IE Newswire. Hello. Some of the yes, most people don't say that. Most people lock the gates when or close the doors when I'm coming.
You're always
On that, they were cruising through, seeing some of the people and some of the activities going on here. At that, here we go. There's plenty of shovels and rakes and brooms and all that. You can come on out. You don't have to bring anything. Everything is here. Everything is here for you to that. All they need is bodies out here to do that, to help spruce up the community. Say hi, you're live on IE Newswire.
Good morning.
Say hi, you're live on IE
How's it
Newswire.
going?
Are you having fun yet?
I just got here, but I'm hoping to, get into the action.
You need to lose some weight.
It looks great.
About like I do. We're doing some more of that stuff out here going on. There's some of the city personnel out there to direct you if you need any help coming on out here. we're about ready to say, in case you think your city officials never do anything, there's a guy with a rake in his hand. Councilmember Dave Marquez, you're live on IA Newswire.
Hey.
I wanted everybody to see that you actually do something. You
Oh,
don't.
definitely. Come out and contribute to the community, clean it up.
That's it. We have this location again. We're at Sunnymead Park at the corner of Fur and Paris Boulevard, and it's also going on down at the Senior Center.
Citizen Center. Come
Yes.
on out till 2 o'clock.
Till 2
Come on out and
o'clock.
help us out.
There's plenty of work to do. They have all the tools, equipment. All they need is bodies.
Just bodies. That's labor, manual labor.
That's it.
Suppose that over there.
Yes. See, this is some of the stuff we pick up down here.
Down here.
Yes.
And we don't want the kids to get a hold of that stuff.
Yes.
So,
And it's very important. One thing, and one thing that I found out, you might, for every hour or every time you spend volunteering in your community, you get paid back 3 times for it.
Exactly. Especially the youth. You have high school projects or school projects. This is a good time to come on out and help the community and get community credit. So come on out, youth, and help us clean up our parks.
You got it. Thanks, Dave.
Talk to you later.
There you go. We're going to roll through some of that. We're going to show you how we're going to throw the trash in the trash. That's some of the stuff we need to do in our community, clean it up, keep everything looking good, spruced up for the baseball fields and all that are out here. Again, Community Service Day, this day, all the way till 2 o'clock. Keep everything looking good. And, volunteer, both places, or just if you want to go to the Senior Center, it's just a quarter mile east on First Street, or you can do both. You still got plenty of time to come out. Again, all we need is bodies. There's plenty of tools, rakes, gloves, water, refreshments, all that stuff that they'll be giving you on that each and every day on that. Yes, there you go. See, you're live on IE Newswire. Tell them hi.
Hi, everybody. We're working here, volunteers from Highland Fairview.
That's it. That's Santiago. He always comes out to all of these. He's great on all this stuff. You can always count on him to come out. Again, here's all the folks volunteering.
We're working here.
We'll see if that.
from
Why am I still hearing that in the background?
That's
it. That's Santiago. He always comes out to all of these. He's great on all this stuff. See if turn that down. Yeah, you got to figure out how to turn all these buttons on here. Yeah, that was out at the community cleanup out there. Video I shot out there doing that. This is one that I shot of the sunrise. I shot one of the a live video up on top of the tower. 7,000 views when it was windy up there. It's kind of amazing sometimes some of the attention this stuff will get. Up on that. Here's one of the last story I think that we had from the weekend, and yeah, we ran through an hour. Told you there was a lot of news on the stories on that. Yeah, this is the last one. Latest arrestee in Riverside County, 6 vendor compliance checks going on of that, and let me see if I can get this guy's. Got to hit this button. Yeah, there we go. They ran a check down in the low desert on that for 16 sex offenders. Registered sex offenders on that. This guy was the one that was caught or was found in violation of his probation on that. So another smiling face. Our sheriff's department out there cleaning stuff up, doing that. This was an interesting show, doing it by myself, doing the engineering of that and learning how to do all the dials. It's kind of, I guess I'm doing my Art Bell, Jim Healy impersonation. Probably not doing it near as well or anywhere close to what those guys do. It's amazing, and I have a lot of respect for those guys. Art Bell was a long time, both of them are both passed, but Art Bell did Coast to Coast, started that, which George Norrie does now on the deal. And he he did that, and he used to engineer and do all this stuff himself, do the engineering, take the phone calls, adjust all the sound on that. So I mean, again, I have a very new respect for those guys. And Jim Healy was a great guy. He did his so-called 15-minute sports commentary on KLAC from 5:30 until it usually ran till 6 o'clock on KLAC and KMPC and other stations for Lord knows decades. Someday we're going to have to pull the clips of some of the stuff. That guy was hilarious. Even if you didn't like sports, he was entertaining of the way he put that show together. And maybe we'll have his son Pat Healy on, who's a reporter for Channel 4 on that, and still see Pat around once in a while because he was a big race fan and stuff. And so Jim used to cover the races too on that. So two guys I both came across, ever got to, or at least got to meet, maybe not to know very well, but at least I got to meet them and speak with them and ask them some questions, shoot the breeze about some mutual radio, sports, and everything else that we had in common. So that was fun. But again, yeah, I can imagine trying to do all the sound effects and stuff that those guys would pull off during a show, doing it all by yourself. That man, that took an incredible amount of talent. I can say that. But I've been on here for almost an hour, so I think I'm gonna end today's broadcast now because it was fun. Learned a lot trying to run everything in the board. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to bring you this every day from 5 to 6 at least on that, covering all the local news and stories and all that. Hopefully Jesse and or Stephanie will be back tomorrow or Wednesday, so I'm not putting this all together myself and doing that. But it's good to know. It is good to know how all this stuff works and being able to work it, because when it gives you a better appreciation for what other people are doing their job. So that's very good. And plus, you get the knowledge of actually doing it. So when there's things that need to be done or that, you have a better understanding of what's going on. So it's all part of the learning growth process of life. Hopefully, you never stop learning until you're looking at the roots of the grass. As I say, every day is a great day on the top side of the grass. So we'll be back in about 23 hours to do this again, live at 5 on IE Newswire. For that, we're going to say see ya.